Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've upgraded my setup. My microphone is further away, so no more eardrums bursting. Not ever. I'm over it. I'm done. I needed to step up my YouTube game, so here we are. New lighting setup. But yeah, so that's it. So today we're gonna go back to Boracity magazine because they have a new take for us that we're gonna analyze. And the take is BTS fans do not like K-pop. Even though I'm not like a certified fan of BTS, I do like their music a lot. Is it true that BTS fans don't like K-pop? Now listen, just before we get into everything, I want to just clarify that my knowledge of K-pop is very limited. Only for research for videos, I have only listened to, I think, Pink Venom. I don't know if that's a real song, Pink Venom, with that one girl group, I forgot their name. Oh, Blackpink. I have listened to a.r.m.y for one song that you guys recommended in the earlier videos. By the way, I did not like it. I'm sorry, I did not like it. I know why you recommended it, because it's a little bit, I guess, edgier, it's a little bit rougher, but no. It's not the mood right now, I'm sorry. So that's what we're gonna take as like a reference base. That's all my knowledge is of K-pop. It's BTS, one song of Blackpink, it's one song of a.r.m.y. Just upfront, if I have to assume why BTS fans don't like K-pop, it's because there's a whole, like, the industry around it doesn't really, fit the vibe of BTS, but I also feel like K-pop as a genre or as a term is used so broadly that it could be any music made in Korea, I feel like. Especially when it's presented to foreign audiences. There are some points that I might agree on, there are some points that I might completely disagree on. I don't know, we'll see. Let's just get right into it. I'm very curious to see what this is going to be. Okay.
BTS started being invited to major American award shows. They were getting nominations for the first time.
First K-pop group to be up for a BBMA nomination.
They were winning every nomination they received.
We still cannot believe that we're standing here on this stage at the Billboard Music Awards.
And even their American TV debut was on a major American award show.
Making their TV debut, make some noise for BTS!
These
Yeah, they are good.
The K-pop music industry and K-pop fans, since things like this haven't really happened since the global success of Gangnam Style in 2000.
Wow, Gangnam Style, I still love that song.
The K-pop industry and K-pop
I played on
fans
Fortnite
were happy to
Festival.
see a K-pop act getting some recognition once again. But what actually happened was the complete opposite.
The
While
opposite?
Psy had immense popularity in the West in 2012, his musical career was not really seeing much growth in the Western music industry. In America,
Hold up. I might be disagreeing with this one. Because I think Psy has had a significant cultural relevance also to the Western industry. Because we hadn't had like such a hyped up dance song in a long ass time, let's be honest. And to have it be someone from Korea, from South Korea, really put South Korea on the map for the Western industry. He might not have seen his popularity grow on other music, but I do think he was a gateway to kind of integrate the Asian pop culture into the Western pop culture as much as it has today. And I know Psy may not be the first person to have done so, but I do think he was a very big step into bringing this kind of a niche into the mainstream media, especially in the West. Let's just see what she has to say.
Gangnam Style was what many called a one-hit wonder. This was not the case with BTS.
I don't think
they
so.
were actually getting bigger and bigger with every release. This is why it's really hard to find BTS's Gangnam Style. They don't really have one song that put them on the map, because with every new release, they were getting bigger and bigger. But for many K-pop fans, that was exactly the problem. BTS were becoming mainstream. K-pop wasn't. So the BTS Army started being mainly composed of general public and non-K-pop fans. And a year later, in 2018, K-pop fans were done with this. The Korea Herald reported, some K-pop listeners and fans expressed discomfort for the fast-growing BTS fan community. They have claimed that some of the band's ARMY only listen to BTS and show little interest for K-pop in general, leading to a flurry of posts with hashtag ARMYs ruin K-pop body.
Why? Why are we complaining? Why are we complaining? Let's just say, okay, I'm gonna be very bold with this. If you are a true fan of someone, you also relish and celebrate their success. Why is it a problem that there is fans that don't listen to other K-pop music? Now, I can see why a part of the community may say that, okay, I want to share all these other groups and interests with this person, but if you truly are that much of a fan of BTS, you know that they are kind of unique. They are kind of, I guess, the best case study for any Korean group trying to break into the Western world as well. So, Western world, I mean the West, as in Europe, America, stuff like that.
Many tweets that express discomfort for BTS's growing fandom, this one became very popular. It said, the Organization of the United K-Popers declares the ARMY expelled as of today. Thanks to ARMY for understanding the situation and accepting its level degradation in a good way. Even though they are now at a lower level, the K-pop community wishes them luck and hopefully they will regain their humility and conscience. So after being expelled by the K-pop community, armies started celebrating the Army Independence Day as a funny way to respond to all the from K-pop fans and their attempt to stop BTS from becoming mainstream in the West.
Oh my gosh! Stop it!
Now, many K-pop fans are trying to backtrack and say that this was a random account and not a real organization, and that whether we like it or not, armies are also K-pop fans, since BTS is a K-pop group. And first of all,
exactly.
Of course this is not a real organization. It's Twitter. Nothing is real, especially when it comes to K-pop stans. But these and many other
Okay, true.
fans' goal to exclude BTS. The expulsion may not be real, but the attempt of humiliation and exclusion was. The problem that many K-pop fans didn't realize was that BTS can perfectly sustain itself as a musical act in the music industry. And
Of course.
they can do. I can't think of any other K-pop act that can sustain itself as a group without the power of the K-pop industry.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Much more sense knowing that BTS grew without the help of the K-pop industry. They grew bigger and bigger by experimenting with their own promotion methods, despite the K-pop.
So this is exactly what we saw in the BTS, I think, the member guide, if I remember correctly. That Big Hit Big Hit Music also started out with BTS as their first group, right? So they grew together. They are not industry plants, they really had to do it themselves. And there's a lot of other groups. For my reference, Blackpink and a.r.m.y, I don't know their backgrounds. It just felt like their content, their music wasn't as personal and as open-hearted as BTS has done it so far. It really felt like it was just typical pop music by the typical pop music formula, and you know it's gonna be successful. But what did you gain from it? What do the fans gain from it? So it's not to personally attack Blackpink and a.r.m.y, but like as a reference, I do see how BTS would be able to sustain themselves without having major companies back them as much, because they also now have a foothold in the rest of the world. Outside of just Asia, they also have their own foothold and they have their own genuinity to go along with it. So at some point they were bound to have more fans somewhere, even if it would be a slower process or anything like that. So yeah, I agree.
Efforts to cut them from broadcasts, fabricating controversies, sabotaging every award they won, and downplaying their achievements, even until this day.
정도 보도가 돼요. 그러면 우리가 흔히 알고 있는 소위 대형 기획사의 아이돌이 그것보다 사실은 못 미치는 어떤 활약을 보였을 때 미디어에 보도되는 양이나 그 커버되는 범위를 보시면 확연히 차이가 납니다. 이번 그래미 같은 경우 어떻게 들어가냐면 주요 부문에서 등극에 실패했다라고 한다든지.
It doesn't work like that, you know?
그래미 후보에 올랐다고 하지.
And it's true that K-pop as a whole has grown a lot since 2017, but that was the consequence of BTS's popularity. The K-pop wave doesn't really exist. Just look at any articles that explain the global phenomenon that is K-pop and laugh a little. They usually show achievements like this. This one shows the Korean acts to earn at least 2 billion streams in Spotify. And the way it's put makes you believe that these are the biggest acts in K-pop, when in reality, when you combine the 4 biggest acts, it's still not enough to surpass BTS. But what if you combine the 8 biggest acts? It's still not enough.
Wow!
But what if you combine the 10 biggest acts? Then
wow!
even more because their solo careers are also
Suga is in the 10!
Actually, in general terms, if you combine the whole K-pop industry's achievements, BTS is still bigger. They are still bigger when it comes to streams, sales, charts, and tours. Another thing that the media says a lot is that yes, BTS is the biggest act, but this other group is number 2 and they are also doing pretty well.
I don't think so.
Extremely far from
Yeah, they don't even come close to being a quarter. Blackpink doesn't even come close to being a quarter of BTS's success. But BTS, having listened to some of their own music, is like a little industry of their own almost, because not only do you have these very passionate fans that do a lot, you do a lot of charity, you do a lot of good things, you support this band, and you make sure that the community keeps growing. You make sure the community keeps growing. People are received with love. I was received with love. I was received with a lot of kindness. That's why I kept making the videos in the first place. It was just so much fun to kind of explore with you guys, and I'm very grateful for it too. So you have the fans, the content of their music, which is very good. It's very good. You have like this amazing media strategy that is just a whole other beast to get into. They do YouTube videos, they do documentaries, they do their own little talk shows, stuff like that. And they also include Western media into their schedules for the years. So of course they're gonna be massive, absolutely massive. And I feel like, well, I'm not sure about it, you know, I'm not sure. I don't have all the facts, but I feel like other K-pop groups really focus on being Asian-centric first, having an Asian market outside of Korea, maybe, or just inside of Korea, and then moving to Europe. But what BTS is doing is they are expanding in both, I guess you would say, in the Western and the Eastern world, almost equally. And that's just a feeling. It's not something I can, you know, back up with numbers like Boracity did, but that's just a feeling. Based off of their collaborations in the recent times, for example, Jungkook tends to work with a lot of American artists, especially in his solo work, which is very nice. You have a.r.m.y going on these late night shows. His English is exquisite, so of course people are gonna invite him as well. And he is kind of the gateway into keeping BTS relevant to English-speaking world. So there's a lot of little, you know, little things working together to ensure that BTS becomes its own beast. It's bigger than the K-pop industry. And even if you look at the contents of their music, I don't think it completely only would classify as K-pop. I think it's kind of a reduction even, because K-pop basically says Korean pop. But it doesn't, even if it is Korean, or sang in Korean, or rapped in Korean, I think it is way too simple to just say, okay, it is Korean, and it's popular, or it follows like the pop formula sometimes, so it is K-pop. I think that's kind of an easy way to go about it. Especially for the music that BTS makes, because they have a wide range. Let's be honest here, they have a wide range. They can do rap. They can do rock. They can do R&B. And they can do ballads. Did you see Jin? Was it Jin? Did you see Jin's performance on the piano? Like, that's not pop, to me, at least. I'm not really a big fan of pop music anyway, so I might be wrong, but they have a lot of range, they have a lot of songs, they have songs together, they have projects on their own, and each and every one of them separately speaks to a different niche. And that's where it comes in, right? You have people coming in through Suga because they like rap music. Oh, now they also like the happy pop music that they make. You know, so there's just lots and lots of ways they keep creating and maintaining the traction they have. Even if they have become mainstream, even if they don't necessarily make Western headlines as much as they used to anymore, even in their solo projects, they will still have some sort of relevance and they will still keep growing their community. I think the take that Boracity or the video title is making should be a little bit different. It's not just about why armies don't like K-pop. I think it's about why BTS just isn't K-pop to begin with. That take totally justifies why armies wouldn't like other K-pop groups, because even I don't have any experience, feel like BTS is kind of different from the typical K-pop group. I just don't think they classify as one category. Let's just go on. I've been talking too much.
Kpop success. It's BTS's success. It's like this meme that says Kobe Bryant and Kwame Brown combined for 63 points. Kobe scored 62, Kwame scored 1.
Yeah, exactly.
This player started scoring so many points that fans of the team got annoyed.
Oh, by the way, I love the dark brown hair on them too.
The player and not to the team. So they kick the player out of the team without realizing that affects the team more than it affects the player. This is why they backtracked and started promoting the player's achievements as the team's achievements, when the other player's contributions are almost non-existent.
That's kind of mean. Okay.
Now, the main question is why? Why is the Western general public paying attention to only BTS and not K-pop as a whole? This K-pop journalist has the same question as to why no one pays attention to her K-pop articles. She tweeted, "My issue with K-pop today is that less and less people care about it as a whole, and instead only care about one or two groups, which makes writing about the industry increasingly difficult. Everyone lives in their own bubble and doesn't even want to know more. There seems to be a huge misunderstanding too. So many people think that being a fan means you need to consume consume all the content and know all the members' biography and have every single album, when you don't. You can just listen to a song and enjoy it. You don't even need to call yourself a fan, but just trying to listen to new stuff sometimes. Having curiosity about it is cool. It's refreshing. You might find your new favorite band. Who knows?
I think this take is also just kind of... Because I do understand that monopolizing a group within an industry is a problem, but the group itself can just separate themselves from the industry. I don't think certain groups owe it to other groups to not monopolize the industry, because it's all dependent on the fans. This is the same as saying someone only listens to Kanye West, and then there's a whole group that only listens to Kanye West, and now it's a problem for the rest of the American music industry. No, it's not. If you as a group have like a unique identity and you want to grow, you gotta market it. You gotta make sure your community grows. I can see why data and, you know, collecting information about other groups would be more difficult if there's such a beast lingering in the corner all the time, but that's just the reality of that industry. If you want to report on it, you have to just accept that. You can just try to ignore the beast and then get into all the other remaining groups. It's not that difficult. But I do think, let's say you look for K-pop industry numbers and you figure out that it's like 50 billion, and then you realize that BTS is 25 billion. That's a problem for your numbers. That's not a problem for the industry. Why it isn't a problem is because BTS did it on their own to go international, to grow that big. So other groups can do that as well. And I don't think, you know, every person in the world is a fan of BTS. So other groups have a lot of other people to gain as fans. What I would want to see though, what I would be curious about is BTS maybe grouping up, featuring other K-pop groups and kind of collabing on that. I do believe they have done it in some type of performance once. Correct me if I'm wrong, or send me a link if they did. If BTS would like that, they could choose to kind of promote other groups in the industry, but I don't think, you know, it's still a competitive industry, so I don't think that may ever happen that much. But still, it's kind of iffy.
People will totally agree with this, except that K-pop doesn't really work like that, because K-pop is not a genre, it's an industry, and it's an industry that has so many common factors that attract many people that will eventually become K-pop fans. But none of these factors include music. When a hip-hop journalist, for example, writes about hip-hop artists, the articles are usually targeted at hip-hop fans, and these hip-hop fans care about hip-hop as a whole, because it's one particular genre they enjoy. They may also have their own favorite K-pop artist, but since they like the genre, they also listen to other artists that have a similar sound. And this can happen with other genres of music as well. Like K-pop but to transform a genre.
It is just as she says, the other artists within that genre have a similar sound. But I, for example, when I made my first video, people were saying, okay, you can listen to a.r.m.y if you like more, I guess, heavy music. And other people, like in my actual life, were saying, listen to Blackpink, because that's also a big K-pop group. But when I listened to them, there was nothing similar that I was looking for in BTS given by those other groups. There just wasn't. So I can see why, if armies have such a bond and such a taste for the more personal side of things, for the more personal side of music, for the more, I guess, the more intimate approach, other K-pop groups just might not fit in there. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing. I just think that's the reality of it.
Public into K-pop fans, because K-pop's priority is not music.
It's an image. Yeah.
In K-pop, singers, rappers, or performers are not called artists or recording artists. They are called idols, and they were literally seen as that. Before BTS, writing and producing your own songs was not a thing in K-pop. It was all about visuals, how the idol looks, how the music video looks, what kind of reputation the idol has. The further from a regular person with regular lives who actually put on hours of work on their music, the better. This is why K-pop acts are not known for having a musical personality. They are either stuck at one song or jumping from one concept to another, with no real message in any of their eras. Musical and artistic growth are very hard to find in K-pop. And this is not about...
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. I listened to Pink Venom as a reaction. I don't think I recorded it. I'm not sure. If I did, I'll try to post it maybe. I just felt empty afterwards. It didn't make me wonder. It didn't make me want to speak on the creative direction of the video, which, if you know me, I am very big on design. I'm very big on design, direction, all that stuff. That's why I like BTS that much, because there's always symbolism. There's a story being told. There is a lot of storytelling. And, for example, Pink Venom, nothing. Nothing. The only thing that I would speak on is the fact that I think it was Pink Venom, that there was a Hinduistic god statue in the background while these people were dancing and they did not have an religiously appropriate activity, music going on, and that just really bothered me because it was very disrespectful. That's just all I could think of that would be maybe an edgy take, when most of BTS's music up until now, everything I've reacted to, has more to it. Yeah, it's not about being versatile. It's about being an idol. It's about being someone that is being looked up to. It's about being perfect. It's about making visually stunning videos, looking good, dancing good, singing good, and that's it. They have to be unattainable. But in order to be unattainable, unfortunately, sometimes you just don't have to have any personality, because you just have to look perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be honest. Even honesty, I think, would be depreciated by people looking up to idols because they aren't perfect anymore at that point. I just didn't really like the whole K-pop industry vibe and the idol culture. It's just not for me.
About being a versatile artist or not. There are artists who release many genres of music, BTS being the most popular example these days. But to successfully show this versatility, the artist still needs some factors that make them them. And this can be as simple as the artist's musical taste. However, that's another thing they lack, because their songs are not only written and produced by other people, but also they don't even choose the songs that will be part of their discography.
And it's boring! It's repetitive!
An artistic identity that they have to adapt to. If I show you the most popular K-pop songs from this year or from any other year, you wouldn't really be able to tell which group they are from, because K-pop doesn't really have any artistic identity. On the other hand, BTS's label told them, you find your own identity. This is why BTS's discography always reflected their lives and their thoughts. And even when the BTS members don't write or produce a song, they are the ones deciding what they like and what fits them, not the other way around.
Interesting.
I think one reason as to why BTS attracts the general public while K-pop doesn't is the fact that to become a BTS fan, you only need to listen to the music. Other factors like performance, visuals, and message only solidifies BTS's artistry. But still, if one day BTS suddenly becomes ugly or decides to not dance anymore, their music is still strong enough to be performed and listened to for many years to come. So to
yeah,
be
definitely.
Fan, you just need to like the music. But to be a K-pop fan, you need to be a fan of an industry. And what does this industry include? It includes pretty people, a choreographed dance, a concept that they will throw away after a month or two,
exactly.
flashy music videos, and trendy outfits. And all of these things are really cool things to pay attention to. I love paying attention to visuals and outfits, but if I don't like the music, watching their performance once is all I'm going to do. And actually, I would say K-pop fans agree with me, because K-pop music videos and live performances with pre-recorded vocals can end up having millions and billions of views. But once you focus on the music, not even K-pop fans want to listen to it. This doesn't happen with BTS. If they have a million views in a music video, the number of streams of these same the number of music video views.
Interesting.
People don't only want to see them dance or perform. They actually want to listen
to the music. Wow, okay.
This same K-pop journalist said, I feel like the concept of enjoying music for the music is getting lost, and now people either are huge fans of one thing or they don't care at all. They won't even bother to try listening. So how can we write if people aren't open to read about things they don't know? About this, two things come to mind. First, let's say that this person is right and certain fandoms like ARMY are huge fans of one thing, in this case BTS, and we don't really care at all about anyone else. If this was the case, then what is really the problem with that? And why are K-pop journalists complaining about this? Why do...
forgot what I was looking at even. I'm sorry, I'm gonna look at the tweet again. Yeah, okay, so she's saying the concept of music, enjoying music for the music is getting lost, but there's a lot of other people that just really like Blackpink and just really like the whole idol industry, and they just want to hear, I guess, similar music that doesn't really make you think. But the unique thing about BTS and their army is that they do like to think a little bit more, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like at this point, this K-pop journalists take jabs at BTS because they do have a different type of identity. They do make choices that don't really fit the whole idol industry, but it doesn't make them worse. And it doesn't make the armies worse either, because they are trying to protect something that to them is very precious. And I do feel like even if it backfires a lot, even if they do come across as close-minded, I do think it may also have a good side in that BTS themselves, the members themselves, feel way more supported by billions of people telling them that yes, we want this authenticity. Yes, we want something with a deeper meaning. We don't want you to become like the idols or become perfect all of a sudden. We like you for you. And, it works the other way as well. It could also be a bad thing because now there's like this huge group of people defending a group of artists, growing their part of the industry that much that other groups that do the whole idol thing and the whole act are kind of left behind. But that's on the idol industry. That's not on BTS, I think. Because idols are created by the industry people. They are industry plants, after all. So if you have any problems with that, I would say take it up with the people that train idols. Take it up with the people that write music for those idols. Because they are the ones that make the decision to have every song be similar to each other. To have no actual meaning, no authenticity, and just have visually stunning people and video clips, but that's the extent of it. I don't think it's the artists themselves. I think the artists themselves in that scenario are just people that wish to be idols. Maybe that's a little bit reductive, but I'm trying to get at the core of it.
At all about anyone else. If this was the case, then what is really the problem with that? And why are K-pop journalists complaining about this? Why do music journalists don't care when this happens in other genres? I don't know how I came up with this, but do you remember when Justin Bieber became popular?
Oh my gosh, I finished my drink.
His fans to please check out every other Canadian pop artist? Well, of course you don't remember because it didn't happen. Justin Bieber's success was Justin Bieber's success, and no one expects Justin Bieber fans to also be interested in Drake or The Weeknd because they have nothing in common except their nationality. So what about
Is The Weeknd Canadian?
Similar music. Still, you will never see a journalist that covers American pop asking Ariana Grande fans why they only pay attention to Ariana and not other pop singers. Being a fan of an artist is not a group project. Just because I like one artist doesn't mean that I have to like other artists that are associated with them.
Oh, I believe they do, yeah, for sure.
The second thing I wanted to say about this is that it's not even true. This is only a what-if scenario, because most armies were previously fans of other genres of music, or music in general. Like,
is that Megan Thee Stallion? Oh, I'm so sorry, but was that actually Megan Thee Stallion or not? Who is that?
As BTS
just continue.
K-pop grew too. This is
that's a Coldplay, right?
If BTS is part of this particular industry and they are amazing, then the whole industry, or at least many other acts from this industry, are as amazing, right? This is the moment when most armies start realizing that BTS is an anomaly in K-pop. Armies do give other groups a chance, but if they don't like the music, then there really isn't a reason to become a fan.
It is what it is.
To like individual K-pop songs without becoming a fan of the group, because like I said, K-pop usually goes through eras and concepts instead of growing as artists and solidifying a musical identity. This army responded to the K-pop journalist. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Doja Cat. Found this really good band called Bad Omens. Fuji Cass's viral song is also really good. New Jeans, The Weeknd, yet you're going to complain people don't care about music because you're not getting clicks on your K-pop articles. Armies are music fans, and they are
oh my gosh, guys!
And that
take it easy.
Acts from any genre of their preference. Western acts, K-pop acts, and also other Korean non-K-pop acts like BTS.
Oh, what song is
Another
that?
thing
Does
I
anyone
find
know?
odd is K-pop fans accusing armies of hating Koreans because we are trying to exclude BTS from their Korean roots and identity. And that is an insane take because K-pop is not a culture. It's an industry that doesn't really represent Korean values or culture. This is why Korean citizens separate K-pop, or what they call idol music, with Korean music. They even separate Korean pop with K-pop. So while K-pop fans may group
I think I'm gonna be very honest here. That's just straight up bull. That's bull. We're calling bull. We're calling bull. K-pop is short for Korean pop. K-pop and Korean pop are the same thing. It's the same word. It means the same thing. Don't start nitpicking stuff just because you want to separate a certain group from the rest of the industry. They are a Korean group. You can't classify them as idol music. But K-pop and Korean pop aren't necessarily idol music either. Well, actually no. I do think K-pop and Korean pop are first of all the same thing, and then most of the industry within K-pop are industry plans created by idol coaches, idol songwriters, idol producers. So even if they themselves aren't idols, they indirectly come from idol culture. The only reason it's called K-pop in the first place is because Western, European, American people wanted to listen to it and they saw that it's Korean. But it's still all idol music. It just has a different name to a different perspective.
IU, Lee Young-won, Yuna, and Haze under the K-pop label simply because they are Korean. Armies and other music fans who understand the difference
It's just
don't really
reductive.
consider BTS as K-pop because they don't really follow many of the K-pop rules or fit into the K-pop structure. Some of these artists, like BTS, may participate in some K-pop shows, but they are way too involved in their music composition and have way too many artistic liberties to be considered part of K-pop. BTS's actual competition in South Korea are other Korean non-K-pop acts who are usually called digital monsters. So no, saying BTS is not K-pop is not being anti-Korean.
Wait, what are digital monsters? Can anyone explain to me? I'm gonna look it up. I was trying to look up digital monsters and then I realized it's short for Digimon. If anyone knows the show Digimon, that's what I got. That's all I got from it. So if anyone wants to explain why they are called digital monsters, please let me know. I'm very curious. And even the BTS's competition being non-K-pop groups kind of solidifies this whole thing I've been trying to say, is that BTS is not part of the K-pop industry. For Westerners, it may seem like that just because they are a Korean group, but no other group has the same type of shtick, the same type of identity as BTS does. BTS truly is kind of an anomaly. And I'm not even saying that as someone that listens to K-pop every day. I don't even listen to K-pop at all. I don't even know stuff about BTS. It's just when you analyze the music videos, when you analyze the lyrics, when you analyze the whole way their community operates, as an outsider you can clearly see that it's not the same as these other groups I have listened to, like Blackpink, ATEEZ. It's way different. And, you know, people or other companies can try to recreate that whole BTS vibe, but if you don't understand how it works, how are you going to do that? You're just going to put someone in an idol program, create an idol group, and then it just becomes part of the K-pop industry, when I don't think the K-pop industry will ever be a true competitor to this group. Because it's just a whole different thing. It's not anti-Korean to be saying that they are not Korean, or that they are not a K-pop group. They are just a different genre. Even if it's in Korea, there are still different genres of music and different types of identities. You can't just classify anything with Korean language in it as K-pop. It just doesn't work like that. There's idol music, and then there's whatever BTS belongs to. I would say boy band music, kind of. So yeah, that's my conclusion on it. The take should be a little bit different. Why BTS is not K-pop. Because that's also the explanation why armies would not necessarily like other K-pop music. Which is fine, which is completely fine. Let's just all get together as communities and explore new music, explore new groups. You know, that's so much fun. If you don't like it, you don't have to, you're not forced. And if you do like it, just keep on exploring. So guys, that's my conclusion for today. I will see you guys in the next one and have a very, very nice day. Bye bye.